Curt, I feel like
Yes.
we need to play a different theme song today for our show. The open should be "It's your birthday, we're gonna party like it's your birthday," or "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, it's your
Thank you so
birthday."
much. And just so everybody knows, here on the Curt and Jen in the Morning podcast, you have not actually had a birthday celebration until Jen has sung happy birthday to you. Thank you very much. And for all the years of, do you remember what my birthday wish was? Because Jen used to make treats, bake treats and stuff for everybody at work at the station on their birthdays. And everybody had, you're like, what do you want? Tell me exactly what you want. Do you remember what mine was?
Was it German chocolate cakes?
Bingo.
Yeah,
German chocolate cake brownies or cupcakes. They were
cupcakes.
phenomenal.
I
So thank
remember
you.
Curt Cruz.
Yes. You know what? It's a good thing that I have a birthday in August because August is one of the months with no federal holidays. So we can consider August 26th my birthday.
A
You
federal
know,
holiday.
yeah, I think it's March, April, and August that don't have any federal holidays.
I mean, I feel like there's a holiday for the government in April, which is tax day.
Well, they didn't count that as federal holidays. So do you get that off of work? No.
All right.
Probably should though. So thank you. Yes, big birthday. You know what? And we will talk a little bit more about awesome things that happened on this day, August 26th, coming up in a bit. Along with, so happy about this, Jen. Your answers to you've been kidnapped. An hour later, the kidnapper returns you because you won't stop talking about blank. We got a lot of responses.
Yes, we got a ton of responses. We're also going to talk about are empty nesters offended by the term empty nesters?
High roll.
Okay. And is it okay to lie to your chronically late friends about what time an event starts, Curt Cruz?
I'm gonna we'll find out, right? I know why you're saying that because you're a chronically late person too.
I am not as late as you are, and or as
Also,
often.
we'll get into that a little later. How's that sound?
I'm less chronically late than you.
You're half the chronic lateness, perhaps. What did the weekend bring? Dana and I finally watched Inside Out 2.
Oh, what
Uh,
did you think?
mm,
You didn't love it?
it was great. It was good, but I just think that we had expected it to be as good as the first one, and some people were saying it was better, and we were like, and I think it was just because the element of surprise was not there. It's like Inside Out, you're like, wow, this is really cool. This is a fun movie, and then Inside Out 2, you're like, okay. The bar has been raised a bit. See if you can do better. I thought it was pretty good. Of course, I like the fact that there's a lot more hockey in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty good. But
I
we
thought it was
still
very similar to the first, which was really good.
and I liked the new emotions that they had, envy and uh
Ennui. Wasn't ennui one of them?
ennui was boredom.
Yep.
It was boredom. A-
Anxiety.
Anxiety was, and am I doing a uh spoiler alert if I say sadness saves the day again?
Did sadness? Oh yeah, sadness did save the day again. I'm like, wait, how? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think it's a spoiler alert to say that because you don't know how.
Do you have your little? Oh no, you're in Cedro Woolley. I was going to say, do you have your little joy?
I don't have it with me, but it
Okay.
sits in my little home office
Yeah.
now.
So, but I know it's a little late for reviews of Inside Out too, when a lot of people have seen it. But I would recommend it. I would absolutely recommend it. How's that? We would recommend it.
Yes, it's
Um,
good.
it's well done as always.
I enjoyed a lake day yesterday on Lake
You did.
Samish up in the Bellingham area.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were in the Bellingham area with some friends who own a house on that lake. And Lisa and Doug and their kids are so lucky to wake up to that every single morning. I mean, their whole front of their house is windows.
Yep.
And the lake isn't that busy and it's just beautiful. And I think that I need to be on a lake at some point living. I need to be living on a lake. It brings me much joy.
How about on an ocean?
I mean, I wouldn't complain about that, but I'm more of a lake person. And I know Pat does not love saltwater because he's like, there's too many creatures in saltwater.
I would say there's, at least in the saltwater, you can kind of see them. I'd say there's too many creatures in lakes and you can't see, and all of a sudden something swims against your feet, and you're like,
I know Anthony, Pat's because it was a family lake day, so the Currans were there, and then
right.
the Lisa, the Naivas, their whole family was there. We were missing a couple people, but um Anthony, who is Pat's oldest son, went to get into the tube to go tubing, and he totally he like jumped on it and it totally flipped over and put him in. But then when he touched the bottom, it was ooey gooey yuckiness, like that
Was there a
tangly
squeal?
grass and the slime at
Yeah.
the bottom.
I'm
Oh,
surprised that's why I'm surprised you want to be living on a lake does not mean getting in the lake for Jen
it
Pirak,
does
right?
not. It does not mean
Okay.
that. And then
Well, let's
I learned how to
but
make sourdough bread. I wanted to say this. This was my most exciting thing. I've been wanting to do this for so long. And my friend Lori taught me how to make sourdough bread. And I got a starter and all the things. And the first thing I made from my sourdough starter,
what?
pancakes.
Of course.
Sourdough pancakes. And today I'm making homemade English muffins.
I love it.
Me too.
Bring some
Okay,
back with you for, your friends and stuff.
I will.
Let's get into this thing here about it's turned into a thing. The Seattle Mariners got rid of their old manager, Scott Servais. This is on, I think, Thursday or Friday, Thursday of last week. So,
Okay, because I thought I was living under a rock, Curt, because I heard like my friend Mario, oh, well, you know Mario, called
mhm.
me from the Mariners game, and I'm like, why are you at the Mariners game? He's like, well, because Dan Wilson's the new manager. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So the deal is that so Scott Servais is out, and then they announced that Dan Wilson, former catcher for the Mariners for a long
Yeah,
time, and universally loved guy. He's a good dude, but they named him. And I think this is what people have an issue with. They did not name him the interim manager while they looked for a manager. They said right away, nope, Dan Wilson's the new manager, and he has no managerial experience. So while I think it's awesome to give people a shot, and I always lean towards, well, they know what they're doing more than I do. But what people are saying is, hey, why did the Mariners feel the need to give Dan Wilson the job permanently before he's kind of unproven? Maybe he's not a good manager, or does he? How's the team going to respond to him as well? So that's what people are. They're like, hey, what about this?
well, when you hire a new manager, you're taking a flyer on all that anyway.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
So
I
well,
think
other
he's going
man,
to be great. I mean, he comes from Mariners. I mean, he has Mariners in his blood.
agreed. But I think that what people are saying, and I can't disagree, is like, hey, he's not only is he not proven. I mean, that's basically it. He has no managerial experience. He can't point back to. There are other free agent managers available right now that they're like, okay, well, why don't we talk to Skip Shoemaker from the Marlins or whatever? And so I think that's why people are saying, why the permanent position versus just an interim position.
Well, here's what I think they need to do. They also have Edgar Martinez as a hitting coach, right?
Hmm.
So he's back as the hitting coach, like the head hitting coach,
He
Edgar
was
is.
there from 2015 to 2018 as their hitting coach. Then he wanted to spend more time with his family, so he took a lesser, I guess, job as hitting advisor, and now he's back as hitting coach for the rest of the season.
Right. So now they just need to hire Randy Johnson to be the pitching coach, and then they
Hmm.
need to hire what's his bucket? Hold
You're
on.
not talking about Junior, are you? Ken Griffey Jr.,
Oh, well, that's a good one. That's not who I was thinking of. Boneyard. Who's the Boneyard guy?
Jay Buhner.
Jay Buhner. They need to bring in Jay Buhner, Ken Griffey Jr., and then they kind of have that dream team back. There's one more that I feel like I'm missing in that. You remember from the big championship thing that like they were in the
Who are they?
playoffs?
And I know right now is the times that we know where we're doing this that the people are screaming, it's so and so, it's so and so.
Well, if they
Who else
bring
is
all
there?
those people back, there's going to be more butts in the seats for sure.
So who did you cover? Buhner. Well, Edgar would be part of
No,
that as well. We
Edgar
just talked about that.
Jr.,
Jay
Randy
Buhner.
Johnson, Jay Buhner, Dan Wilson. Wasn't there like the shortstop or second baser? Was that one of them or no? Or is that it? Was that the
I
like main ones?
I do get kind of a kick out of well, I wasn't living here then, so I have an excuse, but I do get kind of a kick out of when I know people are pulling their hair out right now going, "It's this, you dum-dums." So
Curt, what year did you get here?
2001. So
Oh,
it was, I only know Jay Buhner from the commercials for the Northwest Trucks or whatever he does, but
you
I
missed a
recognize that
good
he was a
time
big
in
part.
baseball. It was a
Yeah.
good time in baseball in Seattle.
Well, speaking of baseball, other baseball news, you might think that Babe Ruth, he's old news. Well, apparently he's still a heavy hitter.
Uh,
In the collectibles market. Yeah, this is the jersey Babe Ruth wore in Game 3 of the 1932 World Series. I did not know all the specifics, Game 3, 1932 World Series, but it was the legendary when he called his shot, when he pointed to the fence. I mean, everybody's seen that picture. And then he did indeed hit a home run. You
In
know,
that
that's like,
place, in that exact place.
yeah, at that time, he's like, I'm, basically he's, and there's some, people are saying, well, did it happen exactly at that time or whatever? But the famous calling of the shot in the World Series, they auctioned off the jersey he was wearing when he hit that ball. It did not go for a low amount of US dollars.
How many
Let me,
US dollars did it go for?
well, it's a record now. Let me just say the previous record for a rare, this is for like sports memorabilia. The previous record was a mint condition Mickey Mantle card, his rookie card from 1952. That just sold for measly 12.6 million
Oh my gosh,
a
in
couple years ago.
2022. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Babe Ruth's called shot jersey sold for 24.12 million.
Who bought it? Do we know?
I would imagine that person is keeping quiet about it. I wouldn't want people to know that I had a $24.12 million stinky old jersey in my house.
And what do you do with it? Like what? Like are you gonna is there a way for them to make money off of it? I
Well,
wonder.
you put it under glass and you hang it in your, I don't know, living room. I have never had something of that value.
Someone real rich bought it,
Yeah.
obviously.
So a new record for the Babe Ruth called shot jersey. So I mean, I wonder if so who does that money go to? I guess whoever had it before. I wonder if it went to the Babe Ruth, foundation or something like that. So
I don't know.
all right. How
That's
about
a lot of
this
money.
news? This is local news and it could still be affecting people. I've not seen an update for today yet, so we got to be cautious about this.
Well,
But
I don't know anything about this. The whole SeaTac airport hit with a potential cyber attack.
well, SeaTac was saying over the weekend it was as of yesterday still suffering system outages, potentially affecting flights after the port of Seattle was hit by a potential cyber attack. This was on Saturday, so as of yesterday afternoon, they were saying that they're still having some issues with outages, but there were 165 flights canceled on Saturday. I'm sorry, they were delayed. Six were canceled, 165 flights delayed, 116 flights delayed yesterday as well as of noon. So basically, what they're saying here is check ahead if you're traveling today for flight statuses, check in for flights online. Avoid checking luggage as possible, if possible, because it's going to be a little hairy, as things tend to be.
Wow. I
You're
kind of
not
wish
traveling.
I was going to mention this in our weekend recap that I was really seriously feeling bad on Saturday because here in the Pacific Northwest, it was such crappy weather. It felt
Mm-hmm.
like a full on fall day. Like that I when I was driving, I'm like, this feels like I'm living in October right now. And
Well,
I just was thinking all the people that planned their wedding or an outdoor event, back at the beginning of the year or whenever, saying, when will be a nice day? Oh, for sure it'll be a nice day at the end of
in
August.
August.
It's a
Yep.
sure thing that it's going to be nice. And no. So they had to pivot their plans for sure.
Well, you're not responsible for the weather. I mean, get over yourself.
I I was just feeling bad for those people who had
Yes.
done that. Anyway, and that brought that up because of the whole traveling thing. Like maybe you could travel to Texas where it's like in the 100s and people are
Ugh.
like literally dying of heat stroke.
Remember when we said we weren't going to talk about Ben and JoLo anymore? Remember that?
Yeah, but we're gonna because I have to mention this. I couldn't even help myself because Ben is already rumored to have hooked up with another woman who is 36 years old. He's 52. So way to go, Ben. Yay for him. It's Kathleen Kennedy, who goes by the name of Kick, and that is RFK Jr.'s daughter. So I don't even know the details on how they hooked up. It's just a big rumor that they have hooked up, and I'm not so sure it's a rumor because people have seen them together. And
Okay.
and JoLo
And
now has an engagement ring collection worth over $17 million. She's been married 4 times and engaged more than that because she never married A-Rod,
right.
Alex Rodriguez. And that is all the end. We're not talking about it anymore today. Okay, moving on. Great things that happened in August,
On
on
August
August
26th
26th,
today.
your
So again,
birthday.
I'm pushing to have it become a national holiday just because it's my birthday. But let's go back. August 26, 1920 is when the 19th Amendment guaranteeing women the right to vote was put into
Oh,
effect. That's a good
that's
one.
mega.
How about August 26, 1946? A young lady named Norma Jean Baker signed a contract with 20th Century Fox, who changed her name then to Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, on that day, she changed her name.
Well, she signed the contract on that day, and she is Marilyn Monroe, in case you didn't know. You knew
Yeah,
that.
I did. I did.
1968, the Beatles released Hey Jude, perhaps the greatest song ever written by anybody ever, ever, ever.
Okay.
And do you like this one? 1978 on August 26th, Frankie Valli theme song from Greece went to #1.
Wow, that's a lot of big things that happened on your day, Curt. What
That
else?
last one's
Anything
not that
else?
big of a deal. Let's go over a few other birthdays on today. I share a birthday with Macaulay Culkin. He's 44 today.
Okay.
Melissa McCarthy is 54. She's super funny. We like her.
Still two
And this
people
one,
younger than you.
yeah, this one I have to point out. The band Garbage, singer is Shirley Manson, who I have had a crush on forever and ever and ever. Um, she is 58 today, so we share an exact birthday.
You're that old?
I know, like a year older than you. Jeez.
No, you're not. I'm younger than you by more than that.
And finally, today is National Dog Day.
Oh, that's perfect for you, Curt.
Right. So on National Dog Day, the aim is to promote and raise awareness about adopting animals who are currently in rescue centers and also promote dog ownership of all breeds, pure and mixed breed, all of them above. So embrace National Dog Day and help all dogs live a happy and safe and abuse-free life.
Naughty, not snotty dogs.
What? Not snotty dogs?
No, I'm just saying you're saying dogs of all types. I'm like snotty, not snotty because I have snotty Sailor, and you have
Okay.
cute
Yes.
little nice Bella.
Well, you don't know Bella that well, but snotty sailor is also included, even snotty dogs.
And it's
I should
also,
also.
can I mention this, Curt? You're saying all these really fun things. There's another fun
Mhm.
thing that's today too, and it's National Toilet Paper Day. So when you're
It
wiping your
is.
butt today, you can know that you're celebrating not only your birthday, but also National Toilet Paper Day. There you go.
Thank you for bringing that one up, Jen. I appreciate that. All right. This is awesome. Go for it.
Okay, so we asked you to fill in the blank on this prompt, and once again, you showed up. I love it. So many people answered this question. You've been kidnapped, and 1 hour later, the kidnapper returns you because you won't stop talking about blank. Fill in the blank.
And Jen, we both said, well, I said mine was probably talking about the Kraken. That's probably me.
Well, they probably would return me because I just wouldn't stop talking, period. It doesn't matter what. I will just talk a lot. I probably talk about how it's not very kind that he kidnapped me.
Yeah,
The
you're gonna
importance of
turn
kindness and doing the right thing and do unto
you're gonna
others as
change
you
that
want done unto
kidnapper's
you.
mind. He's like, I'm gonna return this chick right now.
Or
Well,
kill me.
this is thank you all for chiming in on this because we have a lot here that so you've been kidnapped and an hour later the kidnapper returns you because you, Jenny, won't stop talking about tattoos. That's what
And
Jenny said.
Kelly won't stop talking about cats, and Jody won't stop talking about her dogs and cats and showing pictures. I love that she has visual aids as well.
Yeah. Oh, look at this one. Her head is tilted a little differently. We know those people.
Yep.
Amanda talks about her concert calendar. She's that big Matt Nathanson fan
Yep.
who's going to be here at the end of actually later this week and next week.
Yep.
Corey, your friend Corey, what is resin art?
I don't know. Oh, I
Corey
think.
said,
Oh, I know what it is. Like it looks. I think it's like you pour it on. It looks like super shiny. I know. I know what she's talking about.
okay, that's what she won't stop talking about to have the kidnapper return her.
Heather won't stop talking about bass fishing, which I love so much. Marilyn,
Okay.
her prior, lots of people talking about their dogs. Her prior dog, Bubba, who was the love of her life. And I love that Durandi,
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, we call him
Mm-hmm.
Durandi, of course, would be returned because he wouldn't stop talking about Duran Duran.
Susie, who is Susie the groomer, by the way,
Oh,
um, she won't stop talking about roller coasters. This I know
oh,
to be true.
I need
She's
to
one
be
of these
Susie's friend for sure
people,
because I love roller coasters as well.
she's one of these people that she'll save up her money and then I'm going to here, and then she'll save her money. I'm going to here to ride roller coasters. So yeah. Jenny says she talks about work too much. They think
Oh,
I'm making it up, but really my work life is that crazy. Hmm.
okay. Laurel's talking about her 5 grandchildren. She said she's a talker, especially when it comes to that. Andrea's talking about Taylor Swift, cake pops, and Taylor Swift.
Oh,
Yes, I
Taylor
said
got two
Taylor
mentions
Swift
in there.
twice. Yes.
So Dorothy chimed in on, the kidnappers will return me after an hour because I won't stop talking about menopause.
Oh my God, I love it. Oscar's not stopping talking about Kamala and Trump. He has a big
Okay.
LOL there. Jennifer's
Jennifer,
tacos.
She just put 3 pictures of tacos. I guess that's what that means. I think we already talked about,
Yep.
yeah. So we got Brianna. You met Brianna. Actually, it's Bree. She works at Sean O'Donnell's. She's one of the servers, and she just got that
Oh,
horse.
oh yeah, that's right. Her
So yeah,
horse. I
yeah.
saw a picture of the horse.
Yes, you did. So she won't stop talking about horses. Debbie, well, she says politics. I don't talk about politics, but I would push someone out of my car if they did.
Okay. I did not know this. You're the co-host that filled in for me when I was on vacation, Stephen Kilbrath.
Hmm.
He piped into this and said pickleball, and I had no idea he was a pickleball player.
He's a player and a fan. Yes, we need to get a game together with Mr. Kilbreth, all of us.
I bet
Our
he's really good.
I imagine he is. I don't I've not seen him play, but
Okay.
our friend Ina can't stop talking about the drama I dealt with taking my kid back to college.
Oh, geez. And Zolanda can't stop talking about her kids, and similar, Stacy won't stop talking about her husband Todd and her girls.
Helen says the kidnappers would return me because I talk about vaccines and chronic disease in children and adults. And then she put wah wah
Wah,
wah
wah,
wet
wet
blanket.
blanket.
Hmm.
Sean said extraterrestrials were behind the X-Files and cat videos. Okay. And Shannon, which I know who Shannon is, she won't stop talking about hiking. So many trails. I want to do this one. I want to do that one. Those ones too. Awesome. Those
Fantastic.
are good
That's it.
answers. And it tells us more about you too, because we know what you're passionate about.
Yeah. So feel free. It's still posted up there on several different. Well, we've got it on 3 different Facebook pages and whatnot. You've been kidnapped. An hour later, the kidnap returns you because you won't stop talking about blank. Hmm.
All right. This is the time of year when a lot of people are referred to as empty nesters because they've dropped their kids off at college.
Right. And
And so the
did you?
question is are people offended by being called empty nesters?
Yeah. And you know where I'm going to go right away with this is like stop being offended by everything. And also, if you are, that's kind of on you. All right. The fair point. This is from a writer for slate.com thinks that we should stop saying empty nesters. She thinks it's a subtly offensive or even damaging term because, quote, the word empty conveys only absence. It's a word you almost never use in a positive way. Empty calories. I don't know.
Well, I like empty calories. That is good food typically. Tastes real yummy, not
uh,
good for my body, but yummy.
This writer also thinks it's an outdated term because a lot of empty nests don't really stay that way anymore. How many times have you seen a baby bird fly off, then come back 4 years later and stick around for another decade? So, is it offensive, the term empty nester? It's been around for over a century. And let me give you this too. This writer thinks it's time to replace empty nester with a different term. Her suggestion is next chapter. Like my kids are finally gone, and now I can move on to my next chapter.
Okay.
Is this whole thing ridiculous?
A little bit. I mean, I like that. Like my friend Carrie, who lives in San Antonio, just dropped off her son at college, and she calls herself and her husband launchers. They're launchers
Hmm.
because they've launched their children. They're launchers.
Did anybody say once my kids are finally gone, call me really happy? Nobody said that.
I mean, some people.
All right. Well, I
Yeah,
again,
I love this. You can't say you're a next chapter.
that's true. Her suggestion of next chapter, like, hey, yeah, now I'm a next chapter. All right. So give that some. I guess think about that next time you're around an empty nester. Don't call them empty nester. I don't know.
What else do you say? I need some more words. I need other words.
All right. Well, I'm sure people have some
I
suggestions.
don't want to offend anyone by calling him an empty nester. I mean, it's all perspective, right? Some people, I mean, it's just how you think about it. You're
Maybe you
an
should ask.
empty nester?
Maybe you should ask AI. Like, what's another term for empty nester?
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to AI.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I
Mhm.
didn't. Sorry, Curt. Will you throw that to me again? That little.
Yes. So maybe you should ask them what another ask AI another term for empty nester, Jen.
What a great segue, Curt, because 2 out of 5 people think that you better be polite to your smart speaker, your AI, because they might backfire someday and come in and get you. So we've talked about this before. try to say please and thank you to well, Siri, one of them. I don't want
Hmm.
her to pop up here, to
Right.
Siri and to Google. I have the Hey Google. I don't have Alexa. I have Hey Google.
Right.
And I try to be polite, like, hey Google, can you please tell me blah blah blah? Hey Google, can you please tell me how long I need to cook raw chicken?
Yeah, but you're in general, you're just a polite person. So I would expect that that becomes a kind of a habit to ask in a polite way, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think it's awesome. But what these people are saying with AI, if you're not AI, and nice to your, I think I just turned on sorry, I think I just had my Alexa thing go off because I said it again. I said it again. If you're rude to your AI thing, is it going to haunt you someday when the robots and intelligent, AI takes over and they
Yeah.
destroy us all?
Yeah, you better be polite. And here's the thing. I actually got called out, not called out, but like you you're saying please and thank you to your smartphone. I am like,
Yep.
yeah. They're like, why? And I said, well, first of all, I think that if you get in the habit of not being polite, like just belting out commands, that's going to eventually come out in real life too, to a real human. And that's, you just may as well practice kindness and politeness and all the respectful things all the time.
You know what? I don't disagree. I tend to not say, I mean, I'll ask the question like, hey, whoever, what's the weather today? And here's the weather. And I'll say, well, thank you. Because I usually will ask at the end, would you like to hear more weather? It's like, no, thank you. So it
Yeah.
does, it
Okay.
does feel like, you just ask quote unquote somebody to do something for you and they did. And it's like, okay, thank you very much.
Do they come back and say you're welcome?
Mine doesn't. I don't know if there's a setting for that or not, but usually,
So
um,
mine hadn't either, but when I did it this weekend, for some reason, she came back. It was very delayed, but she came back and said, you're welcome. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Thanks.
you're
Thanks
welcome.
again.
It did call me by name one time. It's like it said good morning, Curt. And I was like, oh, that's a little. And I'm sure that happens for everybody. That was just one time for me, and I was a little surprised.
I was surprised by this since we're bringing up this article that we found, that over 50% of Gen Zers are polite to AI compared to only about 40% of boomers. I would think that the boomer generation would be more likely to be more polite. I don't know why I think
Um,
I had
no, that for some reason that seems like, yeah. Well, I guess I'm thinking that Gen Zers are going to be in a hurry, and they'd say, Alexa, do this, or whatever. But whereas boomers would be a little more relaxed because they're probably retired. But I guess I would agree with that.
yeah.
Oh,
All
I'm sorry.
right.
No, I'd agree with you saying it should be the other way around. Yeah, sorry.
Well,
Now,
anyway, be
this
nice to your AI person. But this next topic, Curt, be nice to the people that are throwing parties and doing things because you should be on time.
mhm. This is going to go back to forget it. I'll get into it. This is something I popped in here because this affects both Jen and I. Oh,
I do.
this is
I
why
am
we
late
agree.
too. Yeah. Is
What
it,
it's saying is it okay to lie to your friends about what time an event starts if you know that those friends are typically late? This is a woman.
this happens to
Yeah.
you, Curt. Like people
Mhm.
do this.
Yes. And I'm the one that does it, and you're the one that does it. This came a woman's TikTok is going viral. Her friends made dinner reservations and told the friend to be there at 8 o'clock when the reservations were actually at 8:30.
And she ended up showing up early this time.
She showed up at 8:22, so she still was late, but she was early for the actual start time. Does that make
Oh
sense?
my God. I know, but if it was supposed to start, if you had dinner reservations at 8, and let's say they can't seat you until all the parties there and you're showing up 22 minutes late. Oh
Hmm.
my God.
Yes, and so that's what they did. And so the question they're saying here is it okay to lie to your friends about what time an event starts if they're chronically late? The thing is, from an ethics standpoint, an expert weighed in and said it's best to avoid lying, but confronting a friend can also backfire and make you seem controlling. So then they suggest maybe lying and tricking them could work by shaming them into being on time.
Shaming
Hmm.
them how?
I don't know. Well, and here's the thing, because
Oh my God. I mean, I think
uh,
they might say something like, if okay, let's just say we had reservations. I would
Mhm.
say, Curt, I made reservations for 8 p.m. I know that sometimes it's challenging for you to get to the place on time, but they won't
Mhm.
even seat us until everyone's there. So can you please try to be there a little before 8 o'clock or before the reservation starts?
And people would say, you shouldn't have to explain all that to a grown adult. But
And I would say, well, I do to you because last time you were 22 minutes late.
I told you I was going to be there late. It was after a Kraken game. That was an hour and a half late, by the way.
Oh, I know. I
You
wasn't
said,
referring to the party. The party's something else. That was more like come when you can, and we said, I get it.
well, that's the thing. I think I take that attitude most of the time. However, I did have a friend who was frustratingly late all the time, and the friend said, "Come on, man," and he said, "Well, chronic lateness is a disease." I was like, "No, it's not," but I looked it up. And it's not necessarily a disease, but there's a lot of reasons psychologists say being lateness is part of a more subtle functioning of personality. Like if you're an ADD person, lateness is one of the characteristics of ADD. If you are a perfectionist, sometimes a perfectionist will have a hard time leaving on time because they're working on something and, oh, I just got to do this one more thing and then I'm going to go. There are some people who try to squeeze too many things into their busy schedule. That's another thing.
That's me. That
Sociable.
is
Yeah.
me. I think
How
I
about
got to get too
this?
much done.
Then there are sociable and talkable extroverts who make their meetings and appointments last beyond the scheduled time and increase their lateness throughout their day.
And that makes other
There,
people late too.
there are other people, one more thing, that overload their agenda because they cannot say no. And finally, those who have low self-esteem may say yes to everything, even though they're going to maybe not be on time. So it's not a disease, I would say, but there are certainly characteristics of these different people that cause them to be late. I just typically think like what you said, it's like, okay, well, we're getting together for dinner, but I appreciate that that can be frustrating to people.
Well, right, especially if you're getting together for dinner specifically, you need to be
Hmm.
on time for dinner because people are serving and they're probably waiting on you. Like Curt said he'd be here. Curt and Dana aren't here yet. We're waiting
Oh,
for
now it's my
dinner.
wife as well, huh?
Keep waiting,
Okay.
keep waiting. Well, she's just along for the ride because I'm sure that Dana would be like, let's go. Like we said we were gonna be there.
Oh, so now my wife is a victim. I see.
Okay. All right. Hey, are you gonna talk about this Foo Fighters thing?
Yeah, I wanted to say that basically the long and the short of the Foo Fighters thing is that we they as happens quite a bit with politics. These politicians will use artist songs as part of their, if they're having a convention or whatever. And oftentimes it doesn't matter, Democrat or Republican or whatever. The artists are like, "Hey, I did not give you permission to use that song." You get a cease and desist order and whatnot. And I kind of feel like the politicians, like, you know what, we're going to just go till no. And if they say we can't, then, but well, after that, they've already used the song and the
Right.
moment is passed. So what's happening with with Foo Fighters, they were unhappy that Donald Trump campaign did not ask for their permission to use their song "My Hero" at the former president's rally on this past Friday. They said we did not give permission, and if they had been asked, they would have not granted a permission as well. Particularly with that song, which I believe Dave Grohl wrote for Kurt Cobain after he died. So I'm sure it's a very special song. The point being I get frustrated when anybody does that. It seems like the art of the musician is basically their songs, and there's no other kind of art you could take and say, well, I'm going to use this for free. So, oh, finally, the representative, by the way, for the Foo Fighters added that any royalties received as a result of the use of the song on Friday will be donated to the Kamala Harris campaign.
Oh geez, here we go.
So
Okay.
it's a bit of a backfire as far as that
Wow.
goes. But that led to what you found, which I think is awesome.
Right, that Instagram has added music to its profiles, which means the new feature, which debuted last week, allows a user to post a 30-second track on their profile in the
Hmm.
bio area. The song won't automatically play, but you can play it and stop it. And so this begs the question, what's your life walk-up song? Like what song are you adding to your Instagram account that's kind of your walk-up song?
Yeah, when
Like for
baseball
life
players
though,
go up,
like what's
yeah.
the walk-up song for life? What's your theme song for your life?
Well, they
I
call
don't
them
have
walk-up
one. I'm
songs
gonna
because
I'm gonna have a
well,
hard
they call
time.
them walk-up songs because of baseball players, but you also like I mean, shoot, the wrestlers have their intro music and stuff like
Well,
that.
right,
And
it's your
so,
intro song, but we call it, yeah,
yeah,
it's called the walk-up song.
basically, it's a song that introduces you to the world. So, what song best sums you up? What would, as Jen said, what would your walk-up song be?
Do you have one, Curt? Do you know like off the top? Because I don't.
No, I'm gonna have to think about that. Because you can
Okay.
only pick one, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to limit it to one.
Ooh, I don't know, but if it is one song, like if you mash up two songs, it's one song. So maybe
Listen,
I'll do a
you,
mashup.
it's obvious that yours is going to be Happy by Pharrell.
I don't know
Well,
what it's gonna be.
you know what? And that's another point. People sometimes they want, yeah, well, I'm a happy person, but I want my walk-up song to be strong and show that I'm a badass,
Or
So
yeah, it might end up just being your favorite song because it gets you going. Because see, that's the thing about the walk-up song, I guess. I guess that we're asking for something different because your walk-up song is the one that's like pumps you up, like gets you going, like let's go.
right.
And we're
So
asking for your
you
life
wouldn't
theme
use
song.
you wouldn't use Tommy Two Tone 8675309 Jenny Jenny.
No, because I'm not even Jenny. So that no.
Oh, that's right. I called her Jenny once. Don't do
No,
that when you meet
don't
Jen.
do it. Don't do it. Okay, so what do we want to do, Kurt? Should we do it twofold? What's your walk-up song? Like what will song get you motivated? And then what's your life theme song?
Nah, I just think that the one song to sum up everything would be
Okay, so
good.
your life. What song best describes you? Is that
This is
what
a song that introduces you to the world. Yeah. What song best sums
okay.
you up?
So it's not your walk-up song. I was mistaken. Not that
Oh, I
one,
think
not
that
the one that pumps you up. No, your walk-up song is different. Because like my
okay.
walk-up song's gonna be like Staying Alive or like the Staying
Okay.
Alive 50 Cent mashup that I always love. Like
Then
that's the song that
let's
gets
go
me
with
going.
walk-up songs. Yes, walk-up song will be it because that is the one that gets you pumped up and ready to go. You're right. That's what this is about.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're right. I mean, I think it'll make for more exciting songs. And somebody says, the song that summarizes my life is MacArthur Park." It's like, okay.
Okay. All right. What song pumps you up? Well, we've done a little more show prep there, shouldn't we have? Okay.
That's usually the case.
Your walk-up song, the song that pumps you up, that's what we want to know for tomorrow. We'll be talking about it. I've already given away mine. Kurt, you got to think about yours.
What did you
And
just say? 50 Cent?
the mashup, the 50 Cent Bee Gees mashup.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I mean, come on.
Well, now we're going to have to see if we can play that because there's rules about that as well. Speaking of,
Little
stuff that you
snippet
can't
of
play
it.
on your show, but that is a good mashup, and you did introduce me to that. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
staying
good.
alive in the background of it's your birthday. We're gonna
Yeah.
party like
Yeah.
it's your
It's a good
birthday.
one if you haven't heard
Okay.
it. Okay. So have a great day, Kurt. Happy birthday again. I hope we're
Thank
going to
you.
celebrate tomorrow during trivia, but
Oh,
maybe I'll see you tonight. Well, I mean, I
thank you.
get to see you. That'll be the first time I get to see you to celebrate since I'm remote today, but we might meet you at the casino. So
Oh, now we're going to casino too. I love it.
I don't know. We'll see. Okay. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for letting us be part of yours. Make good choices, find joy, and spread kindness. Oh, I can't find the end.